Ladies and gentlemen, the Incredible Hoax!
Okay, we're back. Hello, everyone. It's the Incredible Hoax. I am Mark, and he's Chris.
Yes,
and
that's right.
Here
Together
we
we
are
are the Incredible Hoax.
Well, this week we have a new movie review and some movie headlines we'll get to. And let's start with Zack Snyder's new film, Sucker Punch. And I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how we're going to play it, huh? See, I already know what he thinks. He already knows what I think, so he's setting me up.
No, I'm just saying, maybe we should start with a positive before we...
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
Before we tear it down.
First off, as with any review we do spoilers. So you have been warned officially now. Spoiler alert. If you want to know about Sucker Punch, or you don't want to know about Sucker Punch, rather, then you better freaking stop listening because we don't, we give away secrets when we talk about movies. So just go ahead and...
We'll just do the spoiler alert right off the bat.
Awesome.
Here we go.
All right. Sucker Punch. I liked it. I thought visually it was very... very good. Now I feel like an elementary kid. I liked it. It was good. Because I know what you're going to do to me.
I was thinking of Martin Short making fun of Leonard Maltin all those years ago. Some parts of it was good. Some parts I didn't like at all.
I almost feel embarrassed though. I almost feel embarrassed though.
Well, no, this is your chance to say, you know, hey, where maybe we're wrong or
no, it's one of those movies. Actually, it's one of those movies where if somebody doesn't like it, I get it. I know why they don't like it. It's not like I love it. I don't think it's a 4-star classic by any means, but I liked it.
Okay.
It's not one that I'm gonna rush out and buy when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray.
Right.
You know, it's we always say, me and you both agree, out of a 4-star rating, anything 3 and above you liked, 2.5 and down you didn't. That's what we've always agreed to, right?
Yeah. 3 stars and above you liked. Below that,
anything below 3, like 2.5 and down is you didn't like it.
Correct.
So I liked it, so I would only give it a marginal 3 stars.
Okay, fair.
I thought visually it was very good. I thought it was very imaginative. I thought it had really good... you dirty. See? With the sarcastic little laughs to himself.
Sorry.
See, I know his sounds. I know his... Okay, we're brothers. I'm 35 years old. Doesn't matter how old you are, because that means I've known you for 35 years.
Correct.
It means I know your sounds. I know.
I'll just sit over here with spoiler alert.
I know your faces. I know what they mean.
I'll sit over here with my spoiler alert head and let you continue.
I know what your sounds mean and your little, I know you. Anyway, I thought it was very imaginative, very creative. I thought the sets and all that, it was mostly CGI, were awesome. I thought the fight scenes were terrific. It was... I like Zack Snyder's way of staging fights. I like how he does the slow motion run through, like the 300 thing.
Yeah.
And even when he does the fast cutting, he does it fast in a good way. He doesn't Michael Bay it where you can't understand what the hell's going on. You actually get a sense of what's going on.
Yeah.
So you actually follow the action scenes. I thought it was very visceral, very exciting. I thought it was a great performance. I thought everybody gave a good performance, especially Sweet Pea, who I have a...
Abby Cornish,
Sweet Pea. I don't know if it's Abby Cornish or Sweet Pea. I think it's more Sweet Pea I have the crush on. But I officially have a crush on Sweet Pea from Sucker Punch. It's official. It's a crush. Yeah. So Sweet Pea, for listening, not Abby Cornish, but Sweet Pea. If Sweet Pea's listening, just know that I have feelings for you. But anyway,
that's strange. If I use that way, I'd be thinking, Rachel Karen Green from Friends.
If Rachel Karen Green from Friends is listening.
Yeah, she's listening. I think I have more feelings for her than I do Jennifer Aniston. Not true, Jennifer. Call me.
But
yes, your point.
Ever like Last Action Hero, they find that ticket and the person comes to the real world. I'm just telling Sweet Pea, if that ever happens, it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Anyway, that aside, I thought it was great performances. I thought the lead was good. Now, and I liked the direction. The story was weak, and it was repetitive. That was my biggest complaints. Like
Yeah.
whenever she goes on these little missions and she goes into her world, her dream state or whatever, she goes to her third reality or whatever.
Right.
It always repeats the same way, and it gets a little repetitive. So I thought that was my biggest complaint, was the story was, a little shallow. But I liked it. I think it's one of those movies that it's kind of like Scott Pilgrim. I don't think it was appreciated when it came out, but I think as time goes on, people will appreciate Scott Pilgrim more. I don't think Sucker Punch will ever be like Blade Runner, where like years later people just love it. I'm not saying that either.
Right.
I'm just saying that I think it'll find its audience later on. I think there's an audience for it, and they'll find it. It's sort of a cult movie. I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it. Go ahead, do your thing now.
All right. Well, first of all, I do think the audience will be found for this movie, and it's called Japan. They love movies they love things that are abstract. They love anime, which is all about being abstract. They don't really they love just images that can speak to them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of anime for that reason.
And you don't really get stories in anime and things like that. It's not really stories. It's just images that are meant to be somewhat provocative or inspiring.
Yeah.
And so I get that, so you could
crudely strung together.
Yeah, you could argue that Zack Snyder kind of wanted to kind of borrow that and had all these really ideas kind of pin up, and this was he kind of put together a framework where he could kind of get some of those ideas out, where maybe other stories just would never make sense to do.
Right.
But to me, it was very. I mean, it's self-indulgent to a large degree. I mean, that's probably the most negative I think I could say about the show. But it's certainly, I think.
I've always had a problem with that criticism, by the way, but we'll come back to that.
Well, I think it's probably the biggest budget I've ever seen for an avant-garde film. It is not a mainstream film, so I'm
no doubt.
And I'm really I'm just perplexed that much money and marketing campaign has gone to this movie to kind of bill it as like the next.
Because you have to. I mean, what do you expect them to do? You expect them, we're not going to market it because.
Well, I mean, it's like, did you not read the script? I would have read the script and would have went. Yeah,
that's kind of an awkward criticism.
I like no. I mean, it's like I'm taking in everything that's peripheral as well, and I know that's more of a peripheral argument. But it's like, look, I'm just amazed that the studio heads read the script and went, yeah, we'll sign off an $80 million budget on this or whatever. I mean, it surprises me. It's like, did you not read that and go, boy, that's really avant-garde. I'll give you $20 million, and I'll do a Fox Searchlight, which is like the independent, whatever label like that. I would have went that way. That way, people's expectations wouldn't be quite so high.
But you gotta let filmmakers take chances, and I'm glad he got the chance to make it, because otherwise, there's gonna be another guy. I mean, Kill Bill was a chance. They spent $60 million. They had to break it up into two to justify the cost. Make it $30 million a piece. Make it profitable.
Sure.
And it paid off, and I'm glad it did. Or else we wouldn't have Kill Bill. You wouldn't have Apocalypse Now if somebody didn't do that. You wouldn't have all kinds of movies you wouldn't have if people didn't take those chances with filmmakers. Well, you wouldn't have Star Wars, for God's sake.
No, see, you're talking about movies that really do have there is a chance you're taking, but there's also, and if you recall, Apocalypse Now went way over budget. So did Star Wars. But
the point is that they let a filmmaker do something more,
right?
Or they let a filmmaker take a chance,
right?
That was really visionary, and really only one guy could see it in his head.
Well, to me, what I'm saying is this story was so abstract, so avant-garde. Like, remember that Bob Dylan movie just a few years ago? Was it I'm Not There or something like that?
Something I know what you're talking about.
But that thing, if you've ever seen it, it's incredibly abstract, very avant-garde, and that's what this is. It's more like that than it is Apocalypse Now and Star Wars. It's nowhere near those types of films.
Yeah, true.
Because those have cohesive...
Well, you act like there isn't a cohesive story at all. Did you not pay attention? It's got a cohesive story.
It has a story, but which I haven't really got into that criticism yet. I was kind of attacking the peripheral argument of I'm just surprised the studio signed off that much money into this project.
Right.
Because it's like, you're not going to make it back. If you do, it's in video sales and overseas sales. Because like I said, Japan alone, you'll make your money back.
Well, I mean, but then again, you had Inception last year. The people would have said the same thing in Inception before it came out. And it was one of the biggest box office hits of the year.
Right.
So, I don't know if it's as risky as you're saying. I'm not sure it's as risky as you're saying.
To me, I thought it was... Well, you had a good 20-minute the first 20 minutes of the film, you had this 5-minute sequence where it's all done like a video, and I was like, hey, it's Jamie Got a Gun, Aerosmith, bada boom bada, but a little girl.
Are you saying it's a bad thing?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm like, well, okay, we're seeing all this stuff you're doing in a very MTV style. But then, right where you're like, okay, let's get into the story now. Then he switches into this extra dream sequence or fantasy sequence, whatever you want to call it. And then there's sequences on top of that when she dances. Rather than show her dance, it goes into another thing. And I'm like, well, this is really weird. You know, it takes forever to get to those scenes too. The pacing was off, but where the movie fails is, to do all the stuff you're trying to do, you have to care about the characters. I have to care about the Spice Girls. Mm-hmm. And the only characters I really care about, because they spent the time on it, was Sweet Pea and her sister, Rocket. Right. They did spend the time there, so when there is a, spoiler alert, death scene, I did care. I was like, okay, that worked. Yeah. Because they actually invested in that relationship. I didn't think they invested at all. I mean, they visually just kind of like, yes, we know that her father or stepfather was trying to sexually assault her and her sister. Right. And, but other than that, you don't know anything about her. You know, he's like, well, she seems scared and all that, but what do you know about her? And let us know, let us get to know her. Let us have a scene where we get to know something about her so you care. And that you can see that she has a fight within her. Instead of she goes off to this fantasy world and then next thing you know, I can beat samurai. Well, great.
But then that brings up the thing. It's Sweet Pea, Rocket, and the others probably were all facets of her own personality. They weren't even real anyway. Because...
Well, yeah, I mean, I could see that too.
So then, by knowing Sweet Pea and Rocket, you do know Baby Doll, because that's all facets of personality and whatnot.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like I said,
I'll just say this about your criticism. I think the whole criticism of the marketing and the making of it is not fair to the movie. Because, like McDonald's, for instance, I hate McDonald's. McDonald's is horrible. And of everybody I know, I can only think maybe of less than a handful of people that actually genuinely like McDonald's food. Most anybody else is like, it's horrible. They hate it. Yet the commercials come on, tell you it's the best burger place ever. Mm-hmm. And there's just, you can't watch TV for 30 minutes and not see a McDonald's commercial. It's the greatest burger of all time, McDonald's, according to the commercials. That's got nothing to do with the reality of that everybody thinks it's a crap burger. Right. So I think it's not fair to judge the movie on the marketing and the budget and get the green light from the studio. That's awkward.
I was just adding that.
Well, yeah.
Like I said, that was a peripheral argument. Of course, you kind of.
Well, I think it's
you took exception to that, obviously, and then I'm like, well, I hadn't even got to the part I really hated about the movie, which was the characters were not established. I don't even give a shit about those characters.
You dropped the S word.
I didn't give a care about those characters for 2 hours.
You dropped the S word on the Incredible Hulk show.
Well, sorry, we'll edit that, folks.
No, we won't. We'll leave it.
But I did not care, and that's the thing. You don't care, and it's like we're there's too much emphasis putting onto the style and the way this is shot and action scenes, which again, it's all well done. It looks good,
You just don't care.
But you have to care. Just barraging me with images that are empty.
Yeah, but I did care.
That doesn't sway me. And I understand you can make the argument, well, silent films are visual medium, blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, but there's still things that are going on. You're kind of building a plot or whatnot. This thing, it's about, it's what, 10 minutes, building this kind of all in one music sequence and whatever, and then all of a sudden it goes to he's about to lobotomize her, and then it zips into this other thing, and you're like,
it moves slow.
If you're like, well, wait a minute, I don't know, you're following along. It's like, well, look, this is all fantasy sequence, and we know this. We're not dumb. It's hard for us to know if this ain't real. It's hard for us to invest in your emotions,
right?
Because this movie really wants you to feel what they're feeling, but it's like, but I don't believe anything I'm seeing. I don't want to sit there and put my heart out and go, oh, okay, I'm really going to invest in this, and then go, oh, by the way, that was a dream sequence. You know, because at this point in the movie, you know, okay, we're dealing with one fantasy sequence after another. It's hard to get really invested in all that.
Well, it's kind of like,
because the stakes are the real danger is back when she's in the
reality, the
real reality. That's where the danger is.
Yeah.
In the mental hospital.
People who haven't seen this have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
No, but
you have to see Sucker Punch.
But to me,
for this show to be relevant at all, you have to see Sucker Punch.
But to get back to the more comical view of it, it was like it was like the Spice Girls were in a movie that was inspired by MTV's TRL and Call of Duty.
I think on my Facebook status, I put basically it was 300 anime, the Pussycat Dolls, Sky Captain, Return to Oz, put in a blender, mixed with alcohol, and served to a 13-year-old boy. That's how I put it.
Yeah.
Because that's how I saw it. It was heavily influenced by those movies and those things. You know.
Well, those are good description too. But
yeah.
I do like because it was like 40 minutes in the movie. I'm like, they're like the Spice Girls. What is this? And even the music. I was like, well, we've got kind of this Fiona Apple, Tori Amos thing going on.
Bjorky type
and I'm like,
stuff.
well, and I said to myself, I said, yeah, there'll probably be Bjork music in any second now.
Bjork.
It wasn't 2 minutes later that he started playing Army of Me by Bjork. And I'm like, aha! I know where this movie's going.
I liked it. I cared about the characters, not to any great extent. I mean, it wasn't like I was like sitting there crying or anything at the end, or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's not that type of movie.
What? No, yeah.
He could. To me, my biggest criticism, he should have cranked up the energy level a little bit. The energy level was a little low. If it had been cut quicker, and I'm not talking about the action scenes. I'm talking about everything else.
Just a little.
He was just too patient with a lot of it, and not in a good way.
Well, it was one of those things where the director, he's going to be doing the reboot for Superman.
Yeah.
And
he needs to step it up for that.
And I'm like, before I wasn't worried. Well, I'm like, dude, now I'm worried.
Yeah, because he's going to just do what Bryan Singer did.
If you're going to do it, yeah, I'm like, based on what I see in Sucker Punch, if you're going to do Superman Returns kind of stuff,
then yeah, just forget
they need to just cut you off now, or somebody start. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a good movie. I'm glad. I'm glad. It's one of the movies I'm glad it got made. I mean, I appreciate it for what it was worth. You know, I know as a
that's
as a filmmaker, I know it's hard. He got 1,000,001 chance, dude, to do a movie that he saw totally in his head, and he got it done. So, bravo.
Yeah.
Me and Russ had this conversation earlier today or whatnot. You know, we were talking about filmmaking styles, and I said that I hate Michael Bay's filmmaking style. I hate it. I think it's a cancer on American movie making. But if I ever met him, I'd shake his hand, and I would be honest and tell him I don't care for it. But I'd shake his hand and be glad to know him because I appreciate the fact that he gets it done. He gets it done.
Right.
Whether you like his technique or not, he gets it done. And you gotta have respect for people who just do it and get it done. So I kind of viewed it on that level as well. But to be fair, go ahead. You gonna make a point?
I was just gonna say, Zack Snyder is a director that I've admired up to this point. I mean, 300 I thought was outstanding, and then Watchmen I didn't care for the story at all.
Well, I didn't like Watchmen at all.
But I could admire him as a director, what he had to do, because that project had been developmental hell since the 80s.
Yeah.
And you had people like Terry Gilliam and Ridley Scott work on it and give up on it.
Yeah.
So Zack Snyder, God bless him, the guy has guts.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you say. Sucker Punch took guts to do that. I just wish it would have bore more fruit and been more worthy of his talent. So
He gave us Sweet Pea. That's all that matters.
well, I forget the baby doll.
know, she's
Emily,
out
I
there.
didn't look it up on the internet. Emily something. But she
Emily-
was,
Browning or something like that.
that could be right. I had meant to look that up, but I ran out of time.
I didn't
For the
recognize
show.
the only chick I recognized was the girl
She
from
was
like
cute,
Disney,
too.
whatever. The Mexican chick. What's her name?
Well, Rocket, she's been a child actress for years. Is it Jenna Malone? Is that her name? Something like that?
Is that a porn star name? Jenna Malone? That sounds like
Is
a porn
it?
star name. I think. Well, I shouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, but no, the girl that played Rocket, she's been around for years. So anyway, like I said, I'd meant to get their names for the show. But anyway,
Sweet Pea's all you need to know. All right, so tying into Zack Snyder and Superman Returns, you got your headlines. So what's the deal? What's going on in the world of Hollywood? And our
Okay,
gossip and our
well,
TMZ?
this
is
one-
the TMZ portion of the show, right?
no, it should be pretty straight headlines.
Okay.
Hopefully. Well,
So they just news and the gossip.
I think you actually suggested her. A source from Hollywood Reporter has announced that actress Amy Adams has landed the role of Lois Lane in the upcoming Superman reboot, which will be directed by the Sucker Punch director, Zack Snyder. And
It's supervised by what's his name?
Christopher Nolan is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
executive producer
There you go.
and creative consultant. Here's the interesting thing, though. She is 36 years old, will be 37 in August. The guy they got to do Superman, he's a British actor named Henry Cavill. He is currently 27. Of course, he'll be 28 in May.
Right.
Now, isn't that interesting? You thought they would get somebody in like the same age, but
But she passes for that though.
well, it's kind of because remember we were talking about the maturity issue.
Mhm.
Well, they just said, you know what? We'll solve that problem. We'll just get a mature woman to do the role. Like, well, okay, that's one way to do it.
I love Amy Adams. I've said it on this show before that
She'll do fine. I think
I think she's a great actress.
yeah.
And
It's a good pick.
Yeah, I think she's a great actress. A great pick. I'm an Amy Adams fan, so.
I was just a little surprised about the age difference because I wasn't expecting that. But I mean that'll be fine.
My favorite actresses working right now are like Rachel McAdams and Amy Adams, and now Sweet Pea, and but no, I mean I would have like Rachel McAdams or Amy Adams, either one. I would have loved to see
Right.
Lois Lane.
And I think you had said as much, a month ago or 2
Yeah.
months ago when we were talking about this. I think you had actually mentioned her.
Yeah.
So
So I mean I'm totally down with that pick.
good call. Other headlines. I can
To
brief.
show you what a nerd I am for like Rachel McAdams and them, I even watched Morning Glory over the weekend because because Harrison Ford and Rachel McAdams were in it. So that's the only reason I watched
Yeah.
it. Because I'm such a freaking psycho nut for. Well,
Rachel
I'm
McAdams.
one of those people that find certain actors or actresses and I just watch all their stuff. Like Billy Bob Thornton, I try and watch everything with him in it.
Well, yeah, he's fantastic.
And
just because underrated,
just because he's one of my favorite actors, but there's some people that I just don't care what they've done or or what their new movie is.
Well-
Like John Cusack. I mean, I like he was a good actor, but I don't give a crap if he's got a new movie out or not.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
There's right. There's people that are talented, but not every movie that they have.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go track down
just
everything
run out
he's
there.
done.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
Johnny Depp in the '90s.
He did a lot of crap movies. Oh, he's big now.
Right. But there was a lot of movies he'd come out and you're like, well, Donnie Brasco was good, but then he'd do like those weird, The First Astronaut or whatever the hell it was, Astronaut's Wife or whatever.
He did some crap movies.
And then
Everybody forgets that.
And Ninth Gate
Yeah.
with Polanski directed that, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're like,
It's some weird crap.
no thanks.
What's the next headline?
We got time for one headline more. Sucker Punch was actually beat out at the box office, surprisingly, by the kid-friendly Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. That's surprising.
Well, I tell you what, it surprised me on one level, but on another level it didn't because my 12-year-old
Oh,
loved the first one, and it's like that's a whole what is that?
new segment.
What is our new segment? Oh, headlines.
Yeah,
New segment? Looks like
Spoiler alert's over.
I
Sorry.
don't know what the hell I did. Anyway, my 12-year-old loved the first one, and she's talked about it a lot, and she wants to see this one, and supposedly a lot of her friends did. So in that preteen age bracket, it's like a big deal. It's based on some books or something.
Yeah, the first one's it's been like really big on video too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not surprising on one level because it's got a huge following for whatever. And I watched the first one with her, and it's not that. It's an okay movie.
Yeah. Well, it looks okay. I haven't. I'll.
It's kind of weird seeing Zach. What's his face as a dad, or what can't think of the actor's name. The
guy that was on Scrubs.
No, what's his name? He's the guy that was the brother on Joyride. And oh crap, what else? I know you know him. I can't think of his dang name. Anyway, you'll figure it out.
Well, there's a lot of Zachs now.
We'll have to look it up after the show because I'm drawing a blank on what the hell his name is.
But anyway, it's good. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, quote of the week and movie rentals time because we need to wrap this thing up. Movie rental. I guess I'll start there.
I'm never prepared for the movie rental. Go for it.
Well, I want to recommend Dark City. It's a sci-fi film directed by Alex Price. The reason is that movie came out recently, The Adjustment Bureau, which had a lot of overtones of Dark City. So
right.
Go check out Dark City. It's outstanding.
Good movie. That was a movie. It was also kind of cool because Roger Ebert made it his best movie of the year. And he was like the only critic to do that.
Yes.
And I remember he caught some flack. But he's like, no, I really liked it. I genuinely liked it. I stand by this pick. You remember that?
Yeah.
He even did a commentary for the DVD.
He sure did. I have that.
And
I have it.
So that movie stands out for me because it's just kind of cool to see a critic go to bat for a movie like that. I don't know. It's just, I like seeing things
Well, he was like the first guy to kind of cross the picket line, if you will, and said, I know it's a genre picture, it's not drama, but it is really good.
I mean, there was no, it wasn't like, I mean, a lot of people liked it. It wasn't like it was an unpopular pick. It was just so unusual.
Yeah, for someone to say
for
it's
somebody
the best
his
film
caliber
of the
to
year.
say this is the best movie of the year.
Yeah, it was because it was unheard of, but people didn't do that. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just awkward. It's kind of. I mean, it's normal now because Lord of the Rings won Best Picture that one time, so now it's like acceptable. But that was way before. It wasn't acceptable to say that back then.
Yeah, well, like 1977. Oh, we gotta pick. We gotta go
Annie Hall.
We gotta go Annie Hall, but we can't pick Star Wars.
Bastards.
See how that worked out for him.
Bastards from hell. All right, my movie. I'll give you my video reel just because I watched it this weekend.
Sure.
And I thought it was hilarious. And I know tons of people have already seen it, but I watched Jackass 3 this weekend.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if you just need to just laugh and just forget about all the crap of being a human being for a while.
Yeah, which is every day.
God, I laughed so hard at that. Have you seen it yet? Jackass 3?
No.
I laughed so hard, especially, I don't know why, there's a scene where they have a stunt where they have this jet, this jet, and they're standing behind the air, being blown out of the turbine, and it's just knocking stuff over, and they keep throwing things, and it's just throwing footballs at them in the jet stream, and people trying to stand it.
Yeah.
I rolled at that so much. So if you're out there and you don't mind being grossed out and you just need to freaking laugh and forget about all the crap in the world for an hour and a half or whatever, it's unabashedly insane. It makes no apologies. Even the opening credits of them just walking out in all these different ass costumes, standing under this big gay rainbow. And they were just, and it's done in this really slow motion photography with this classical score. It's so unabashedly just what it is.
Absurd.
And they come right out. The first thing Johnny Knoxville hits the midget in the nuts, and then salutes the camera. It's just the greatest thing ever. And there's one sequence where Johnny Knoxville is going to get hit by a buffalo, and it's just him dancing. It's like this perverse joy that they have making these movies. That's like I would like to have that same perverse joy just once in my life, because it's unhinged. It's not based in anything in reality. It's just awesome. Check it out. All right, what's what we do?
Quote of the week.
We're done. Okay.
And through our pain, we will make them see their injustice, and it will hurt, as all fighting hurts. So if you guessed Gandhi from 1982, you were correct.
And the new one is?
The new one is... Sometimes I guess there just aren't enough rocks. One more time.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I guess there just aren't enough rocks.
Yeah. It's helpful if you say it with the accent, but we won't give it away.
Yeah, I didn't do it in character, so you'll have to think about it.
Okay. If you want to guess, email hoke@redseatelevision.com or go to our Facebook page and write on our wall, The Incredible Hoax. Go to Facebook and like it. And one day he'll get a Facebook account and he'll like it too, but he won't do it anytime soon. Probably not. Anyway.
What, Lord? What?
All right, anything else before we go? We tell them our clever sign-off things?
Nothing clever, just keep watching.
By the way, us getting heated like that over a movie, just so you know, just a little insight, that happens like with regularity.
Yeah.
So folks at home, don't be scared. The Incredible Hoax aren't mad at each other. We love each other dearly. We argue like that all the time. With that, I bid you adieu.
See? Happy ending.
Don't say that. You know, just be careful saying happy ending.
Oh, okay.
Stay tuned. Because you never know if you're at a massage parlor.
Oh,